Greetings from the Erie Coast. This is Matt Shad. And this is another episode of the Zoot Report, Sunroof Edition. Deploy knife hands. Let's go. So, it is Friday. Woo, Friday. Congratulations, you survived the week. The weekend is now yours. No, I still got to survive this commute. I am low on gas and low on gas. Like, I'm done. Fuck this day. That kind of thing. I want to just get home, wash work off me, and grab a tasty beverage. Possibly eat something. I don't know. Maybe I just drink. I don't know. Tasty beverages sound really good. And do a lackluster Friday. That's right, lackluster Friday. And yep. Probably see how Faith Fuego is doing. Hope she comes on panel. And if you haven't, if you are so inclined to give, please check out Faith Fuego's channel. Like, sub, share, subscribe. Her husband Rick is out of the hospital and convalescing at the house. I'd like to get some updates on how he's doing. So see how that's working out. And if you want to give, please go to all I know right now off the top of my head is Faith's Cash App, which is Faith Ferra 7. Please give if you are so inclined for the cause. They're going through some things. So yeah, let's get into this, shall we? The Zoot Report. Yesterday we talked about how vulnerable our houses and cars really are. Today we're going to talk about how vulnerable our infrastructure really is. I think you already know, but I think it bears repeating. Our infrastructure, it works because of I'd say a social contract. Remember that time back in, I don't know, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, maybe even into the 80s, some 90s, even if only in some areas where you could leave your car unlocked. You can leave your doors unlocked, open, right to your house. And nobody fucked with it. Everybody's just like, all right, whatever. Hey, everybody does it. Right? Everybody did it. There was this level of social trust. Depending on where you lived, I guess, but even then, I mean, I grew up in the hood. There was people that had their houses open and shit, windows open, doors open. Kids running in and out. I remember running into somebody's house, playing fucking G.I. Joes. Hey, is T-Dog here? No, he's outside. I'd go upstairs, go in his room, look, make sure. Run back out the house. I mean, it was nothing. There was a level of trust. The same thing applies right now to our infrastructure. Things have changed, obviously, in the way of houses and cars. We lock our shit up now, right? Everybody does. Everybody locks their houses up, locks their cars up, sets the alarm, right? And they, bed down for the night and hope they don't get a Silverado in their fucking living room, right? Or they don't get rounds coming through their house. Fuck's about. We've taken precautions because times have changed. Our infrastructure, our water, sewer, power, roads, there is no locked doors. There is no vigilance. Well, I guess you could say there is. The whole fucking flock cameras and Palantir and Auto Rail cameras and Axiom cameras, the David Project cameras. Oh yeah, I'm dropping a bunch of names, right? Yeah, they've got us surveilled every which way but loose, and they got a surveillance for that too. But what they're not looking at is our infrastructure. Yeah, there might be some cameras, some security cameras, maybe. They lock a gate, right? They put a chain link fence around, I don't know, a power relay station. Put a lock on it. Nobody's there. Nobody. Right? I mean, everything's just out in the open. I mean, it's dangerous, right? It is. It's dangerous to be there. It really is. You can really fuck yourself up. You can really catch a lot of wattages and volts stepping into one of those places, those power relay stations. It's a good place for people to park, do some nefarious shit. I remember that. Bro. So, our infrastructure is just sitting there. It is not hard. There used to be this thing, it's back in the early 2000s. I remember talking about it with George Norrie and Art Bell, Coast to Coast AM. That's right. How they were trying to lobby, been lobbying for decades to harden our national grid, to harden things. And they're not doing it. They don't care. Nobody cares. Everybody's like, well, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine because we all have skin in the game. We like our power. So nobody, as far as like we the people who pay utility bills, who pay water bills, are not going to these places to fuck them up. Because there's no reason for us to do that. We like to have air conditioning. We like to watch TV. We like to have hot showers. We like to run our microwaves. Okay, we like these things. We like to run on our roads. Right? We're not tearing up shit. We are part of the system. The system exists because of us and our needs. Now, one could argue with the data centers and all that bullshit. That's about to change, right? Yep, Wexland in Ohio, New Albany, Ohio. I mean, that's a crazy rabbit hole right there. Data centering. But the things that we take for granted. Well, I wouldn't say that because we pay our bills. We pay our bills on time. Most of us do. So we all have power. We all have water. We pay our taxes so that, our state taxes, so we can have roads. Maintain the roads, please. Thank you very much. Yep, put the state troopers on there. Put your local police out there. Make sure you know drunk drivers. Make sure there's not fucking bunch of hooligans, bunch of youths running around, fucking shit up, tearing down signs, shit like that. I mean, I guess some of that is expected with youth angst and mischief and all that. That's gonna happen. But for the most part, I want my roads to be clean and smooth, free of potholes, and I want to be able to commute back and forth to work. I want to go on vacation, but I want to go on holiday. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to holiday. Where are you gonna go? I'm gonna go to Yellowstone National Park. Eat me a succulent Chinese dinner. Unhand me! Don't touch my penis! Just enjoying a succulent Chinese dinner. Remember that guy? The British dinner thief. Fucking epic. Get your hand off my penis! As they arrest him for not paying. If you don't know, the guy was a habitual dinner thief. He would go to these Chinese dinners, these Chinese restaurants, order a absolutely amazing meal, a succulent Chinese dinner, and did not pay. Yeah. And anyway, so I felt like I got his ass. I don't know why I challenged him, channeled him right now, but yeah, we're seeing where water treatment facilities are being hacked. I thought they were internet or intranet, right? Close to the internet, but apparently it's the worst damn cybersecurity ever. Passwords are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, or usually 1 2 3 4. Yeah. What? I don't know. I'm just making it up. Yeah. It's my birthday. Oh, okay. I mean, well, damn. And she got hacked. Now, they caught it in time, and this is not the first time, nor is it going to be the last time. But yet they still refuse to provide any security for it. It kind of reminds me of, which I never watched the movie, I just got the Cliff Notes, is Leave It All Behind, whose the movie producers were Big Mike and Barry Obama. That's right, they produced that movie. Leave It All Behind. We even had, our airplanes, our airports. We want our airports to run on time. Yeah, TSA is a hassle and a hassle and a half, right? Get everything you own strip searched. Can't smoke on the flights anymore. Can't drink on flights anymore. Can't raise your voice. You can't pray. Yeah, there was a lady got kicked off a fucking airport or airplane because they were praying after some turbulence. She got up and prayed. I get it. She did kind of create a scene. Praise the Lord, we're okay. Whatever. Innocuous, harmless. And there were some of the passengers that were praying with her. But, the pilot and the flight attendants were like, yeah, you're out of here. We're done with that. But yeah, they've been hacked. They've been painted. There was a freaking man-pad threat to one of the airports. So even our airports, I mean, we've heard stories of drones flying around aimlessly. Now they have started to put up drone what do you call them? Drone blockers, RFID, blockers that block the radio transmissions. But still, somebody could just run through there with a fiber optic drone, a tether, or make it ballistic. Go up, 30,000 feet or 10,000 feet, drop it at a trajectory. It's going to turn off anyway. It's going to fall anyway. So there's ways and means, I guess, but I'm just brainstorming there. I don't know, but some of our airports do have anti-air capabilities, i.e., somebody's got a man pad, somebody's got a there might be an AA, an anti-aircraft battery, anti-missile battery, right? Going on. It wouldn't take much to scale that up, but I don't think they would. I don't think they would. I only key airports they would defend with their life, with all the technology that we have to bear. But most of them they don't give a fuck about. So you're on your own. But like I said, with the whole leave the world behind shit, it's kind of like a foreshadowing. Whereas everything shuts down. Imagine that. Imagine all infrastructure shutting down. Power, water, sewer, airports, transportation, trains, planes, and automobiles. It'd be hard to shut down automobiles, but they could, easily block the roads, shit like that. But that would be temporary. We would definitely unblock them. Things like water and power, they would have to absolutely destroy the infrastructure to get it to not work anymore. Something that we'd have to take years to repair. As far as like the power, those transformers, guess where they're made? That's right. Ni hao, China. It takes 10 years to get one. Something like that. That's what I've heard. That's what I remember. 10 years to get a fucking. Damn, bro. Oh, it's gonna run people off the road. And what if China says, you know what? No, we don't want to sell you transformers. We might have some in stock. I doubt it though. Although, I when I was working at the plant in Cleveland, we had an ancient transformer blow. Ancient. This thing was ancient. Shot fucking hot molten mercury all over the place. Permanently stained the road, the pole, and the grass. Nothing grows there anymore. And they replaced it. They're like, oh yeah, we got another one. It was a small one, but they tried to do this whole like enrichment, urban enrichment thing, get us signed up for that so we could be a part of the urban enrichment program and get some tax breaks and get some new infrastructure. Like, hey, you need some new power. Hey, I heard you got water problems. You got the same the same water pipe since like 1910. You know, I was like, what? Yeah, you still got terracotta down there. It's crazy. But no, they seem to be more dedicated. Instead of the grid, the actual power grid, or the water and sewer grid systems and all that, roads. I think they're more focused on flock cameras that track our every fucking move. It's already been proven that it not only does it not deter crime, nor does it catch anybody, it blames the wrong people. So, I mean, there's only one reason why it's there. That's to track us, to fill up those data centers. I mean, they're trying to just build as many data centers as they possibly can. It's also they can make the super AI. And it needs our intel, our information. And that telemetry, that data centers, data that they compile on everything we do, everything. How does it help us? How is it helping our infrastructure? Oh, duck crossing, goose crossing. They tried to cross the road and they turned the fuck back around. People were not stopping. I stopped. Then they turned around. I'm like, okay, yeah. They're smart. For now, they're smart. And yeah, I gave him a little honk. Shaving a haircut. But yeah. The power, we've already seen how vulnerable the power grid is. I mean, hell, there's a story where there's a freaking squirrel here in Ohio that fried himself on some high tension wires and shut down power for the whole East Coast, New York and everything. Like, damn. Our power grid, it intermingles with Canada. You just got these wires running all over the place, all over the sky. I mean, you look up and there's just wires everywhere, all along the road, all along, going from every pole to every house to every business. There's a wire. Boom, boom, boom. Everything's interconnected with power. This electricity, wires. Trees fall on wires and sever them. And guess what? You got no power. Now you gotta give it to our linemen, great linemen, man. They get out there, and they work diligently to restore power, to build back things, to fix everything. So those are amazing bunch of guys. And that's what we have. We have this redundancy, this contingency, if you will, of great people that work in the infrastructure, in the power, in the water, in the sewer. And they work tirelessly. They're smart. They know that they're experienced. They're indigenous to the land. They're Americans, right? You think that there would be more security. You think there would be more physical deterrence against anything, like high winds. Ice, an ice storm. Falling trees, a hurricane. But no, we're obsessed with just running wires everywhere and having exposed relay stations, high tension power lines that run right through the middle of the forest. Nobody's watching them. Nobody. Every now and then somebody checks them. Like once a year, somebody runs that line and looks at it. Goes, yep. Doing my yearly check here. Got my little clipboard. Check. Oh, I found something. We got to fix it. Place a work order. I don't know when they'll get to it. How they're going to get to it. Right? I mean, it's a little better than third world countries. And it has to be because we pay for it. A lot of these countries, they don't pay for power. There's a power relay station on every pole in the city, and everybody just runs a wire to it, plugs it right in, right? They take a stick and shove a wire into a fucking connection, and boom, there you go. I got power. Where's this wire? I don't know whose wire it is. Or they splice into another wire. You got 1,000 wires running all over the fucking skyline. You look up, you just see a spider web. Fucking wires. No birds. Birds don't land on that shit because they fry. You know? Oh, by the way, birds do die. Okay, they do die when they land on some shits, some of these power lines. Okay, yeah, they say, oh, they don't have marrow in their bones. Yeah, but they're still conductive, so still have water. Water is a highly conductive material for electricity. If you didn't know that, so I mean, yeah. Three times I almost got hit. Yeah, so it already happens. I mean, I was in South Carolina. We the longest I went without power was for 2 weeks. I was in a huge apartment complex. And right across the street was a very rich suburb. They had power 3 days after the hurricane was gone. They were out of power for 3 days. We were out of power for 2 weeks. Think about that. Let that sink in. Yeah, but they're homeowners. They deserve it. Paying big money. Big money. I don't want them leaving. I don't want them creating a fuss, creating a stir, make a fuss. No, us apartment dwellers, fuck them, fuck us, right? I mean, the local convenience store down the street made a fucking fortune in water and beer, cigarettes and batteries and junk food, and gas. Because everybody was going out to their cars. Everybody went to their cars to turn on the air conditioning, to charge their batteries on their phones, right? I cooked outside. I was grilling every damn day. I kind of liked it. Had all the doors and windows open, you know. At night, I closed everything down and slept with my shotgun. 3 cats and a dog. My roommate, Linda, she was 65 at the time. She left. She was like, I'm out of here. I was like, damn it. Leave me. Yeah, I need power. I need, she said, I need to, she was on insulin. She's like, I need refrigeration for my insulin. So she went to her son's house which was in another area. He had power. Yeah. I was in, where was I? I can say it now, Socastee. Yeah, it was in the Socastee area. So we already know how vulnerable things are. Power grid. There's places that just recently. Comes to mind. Flint, Michigan, the greatest water in the world. Not only did they have a mandatory boil order, they were like, don't drink it. The shit's red and yellow. It's some mine. It was a mine that tainted the water supply, and they couldn't fix it. Not only that, it was on fire down there, so they couldn't get to it. Like, what the fuck? Wow, this is very, very rare. Very rare. There's nobody at the gas station on a Friday day, on a Friday afternoon after work. And there's nobody here. What the fuck is going on? Yeah, look, no electricity. There's no power. No power. There's no gas. Your gas stations are gonna be down. We've seen where gas stations. That was the funnest thing, is trying to get gas during the hurricane. After the hurricane, it's like, what the fuck? I can't get gas. Some places were smart and they all right, Brynhilder, for screaming at me. Some places were smart and they had a manual pump, but for the most part, everybody just shut down. It was crazy. Yeah, so we talked about. Sorry, I had to get gas, and so we talked about pumps being down, right? Your communication lines, the cell phone towers. Oh no. I don't know. I think they go down. I think they have some kind of backup power. But they've got generators and backup power to be able to run, but for how long, right? So yeah, that's going to be a bit of a challenge to get cell phone service. Puppy. Lots of puppies. Who's driving the car? The dog? Dog is my co-pilot. Yeah, cell phone towers, communications are going to be down. That's pretty, as long as you have power in your area, you're always going to have communications. But we've seen where even that can be jammed. It can be jammed. Literally jammers. We've seen it where the FBI they didn't catch anybody, but they found out, like, it was all over Washington D.C. during this international conference. These little jammers, they're somewhat handheld. They got 6 long antennas on it. It looks like a very big field radio, and you set these things up all over the place. You set them up all over. They set them up all over the surrounding Washington D.C. area, and they were jamming and intercepting and doing stingray, dirt box, that kind of shit. If you don't know what stingray or dirt box is, look that up. That's basically the man in the middle. The police have been doing it for quite some time. The Israelis have been doing it since 2016. Yeah, they pioneered a lot of this shit. Pegasus Project, all that stuff. But yeah, these jammers will shut down everything. They shut down. They just shut down a whole area. They create their own little no-fly zone for your radios. for your cell phone. And there's jammers for radios too. So ham, HF, Mesh-tastic, Bluetooth, all these signals in the air. I mean, you can play around with it. Radio is interesting where you can one up each other. It's a cat and mouse game. You can play with different band links and bandwidth and wavelengths and all kinds of shit. I don't know, weird stuff. Interesting, but wow, the old Toyota 4-wheel drive bus or 4-wheel drive van. I think it's amazing. Wow. Cool. Anyway, the roads that we run on. That's a little different, right? I mean, we have seen where disruption happens from a flooding, a wreck. Oh man, if you're commuting, one wreck ruins your day, ruins your commute. You're stuck in traffic forever. So Tango attacks can be used, right? The cartels used. They shut down the parts of that area in Mexico where they burnt an 18-wheeler in the middle of the road. There you go. It's done. Trains derail and say there's noxious chemicals and hazardous material on them. That shuts down an area for everything. I mean, you got to evacuate. Even your water is tainted. So we know that we already know the vulnerability. And yet the companies, the corporations, and our government refuse to harden their structures. Now you go into any type of military base, it's fairly hardened. Fairly, I say. They have redundant systems. They got generators. They got shit like that. I remember Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. They have one power plant. It's a coal burning plant. It shuts down one day out of the year. One day. And for that one day, everybody runs their generators that are on site. It's crazy. They shut down one day a year for maintenance. Toyota, the mighty Sequoia. I see the lumberjack Sequoia. Or the Toyota Sequoia. I'm like, I just think of the song. I'm a lumberjack. I'm okay. I work all night and sleep all day. And we've already seen where bad actors, your homegrown terroristas, your Antifas, all that, Transtifas and all that, they were cutting power lines. They were caught cutting power lines. How the fuck? Are you kidding me? They were cutting down telephone poles or power lines, power poles, even setting fires. Oh yeah, by the way, Spokane, Washington. Yep. They blamed it all on one guy. A arsonist, a habitual arsonist. So there's that. It just goes to show you how vulnerable our infrastructures really are. Just a bad actor, malign bad actor, one guy can, can disrupt an area. I mean, they had no power. I mean, well, kind of hard to run power to a house that, 600 homes that got burned down. Once again, houses are not built to withstand forest fires. It kind of sucks. Where is my car? I lost my car. Wait a minute, where is my car? Oh shit. I lost my car. I like to park next to my car. Oh, okay, I didn't park it over here, I parked it over there. Yeah. All good. All good, all gravy. Yes, sir. Yeah. So it's amazing how vulnerable our infrastructure in this nation really is, and they refuse to do anything about it. It just kind of props are dangerous, that kind of thing. That props are dangerous. All you got to do is just kick the prop down, and down everything goes. In the movie Leave the World Behind, produced and helped write, co-written by Big Mike and Barry Obamas. Yep, a whole bunch of other elitist EOs that I mean, that movie was they make terrible movies, but they try to virtual signal as much as they can and foreshadow as much as they can and create some kind of fear or intimidation, foreshadowing. I mean, really, imagine that. So that's what I see with all of this. That's why they refuse to harden the power grid, because they want it to eventually go down one day. Eventually they want to kill it. I mean, yeah, we've seen where during the Summer of Love, power relay stations in North Carolina got shot up by a 308 and stopped working. Something is definitely cause for alarm. And I'd hope. And there are lobbyists that are trying to harden the power grid. I talked about decades ago, George Norrie and Art Bell talking about it, and had experts. You can definitely check them out, online and on YouTube. Definitely archived in the archives. So just some things to think about. Just something I was thinking about looking at all these power grids. Our power grid and shit. So I thank you all for hanging out with me today on this Zoot Report, and later on tonight it will be Lackluster Fridays. Thank you all. Skull. Deploy knife hands.